I am Joanna Dacles from Urdaneta, Pangasinan of the Northwest Philippines Annual Conference. I am 24 years old and the youngest of all the speakers, and probably ako din po yung pinakamabilis na matatapos. Ako din po ang huli, so bear with me. I'm representing the voice of the United Methodist Youth Fellowship in the Philippines as their incumbent national president. Young people here in the Philippines don't get too involved in the discussions of the social and global issues of our church and our society. One factor is that we seldom get the opportunity to be involved and to join the discussions. And the exposure that we get is too limited. Magpa-elect nga pong delegate sa PCC, mahirap na. Sa General Conference pa po kaya. But in the year 2014, when the Philippines hosted the Global Young People's Convocation and Legislative Assembly, or as I would like to call the General Conference of the UMYF, we were finally given the opportunity to join and be part of the discussions. And most of our discussions revolved around the issues on human sexuality in the context of our church and from the eyes of the Methodist young people. Petitions about the human sexuality range from seeking to add the words gender and sexual orientation in the list for inclusiveness of our church sa Article 4 po ng Book of Discipline, up to allowing our pastors to solemnize marriage for same-sex marriage. Frankly, we were surprised and stunned on how the discussions went from being diplomatic and democratic to being brash and discriminating. I was one of the presiders at natakot po ako para sa sarili ko because they were very rude na po in saying their side and their positions. In the end, the convocation revolved to pass only one petition regarding the issue of human sexuality to the General Conference. Yun po yung idagdag ang regardless the sexual orientation and gender sa inclusiveness of the church po sa Book of Discipline, Article 4. I am relating to you this story about the GYPCLA because I believe that this convocation paved the way to many more discussions that we had and we are having as young people about the issue on human sexuality. Kung kayo po, noon nyo pa po ito pinag-uusapan, kami nung 2014 lang po talaga nagsimula. It served as an eye-opener and a means for us to be awakened and challenged to face the issue. Since the convocation, we have been very vocal in encouraging the young people and the church as a whole to openly discuss this issue inside the church. I, being the national president and the official representative of the UMYFP in the different boards and agencies, meetings, seminars, and trainings, have been quoted many times, standing up against this discrimination and condemnation of the members of the LGBT community, especially the young people. We also conducted a national-wide EXA camp, the very first in the history and in partnership with the Board of Women's Work, which primarily focused on creating a safe space for the open discussion and honest conversation about the issues of HIV, AIDS, and human sexuality. There were about 33 young leaders po who discussed and were there and participated in this event. We may not have been able to come up with a unanimous resolution regarding the issue of homosexuality, but the event and conversation itself was a step forward for us. And on June 26, 2015, when the Supreme Court of the United States ruled that same-sex couples have the right to get married anywhere in the United States, the National UMYFP wrote to the 3 active bishops, asking them, begging them to intervene and give us a statement to enlighten us regarding the issue of this ruling in the United States Supreme Court. That decision, while serving as a great victory to the LGBT community's fight for acceptance and equality, set off huge shouts of disappointments, disagreements, and disputes for many people all around the world, especially po sa Facebook. It seemed that the ruling, which is exclusively for the people of the United States, carried a tremendous effect even to those outside of the USA, especially to the church people. In fact, since the news of that ruling made its way to the social media, and alam nyo naman po ang hub naming mga kabataan ay social media, many of our fellow United Methodists, clergy, deaconesses, and lay have shared their personal thoughts and opinions about that issue in their social media accounts. We were bothered in reading offensive statements made by some of our members and even some of our workers as they defend their personal positions. We were bothered in seeing them endlessly debate and argue, quoting different Bible verses, studies and statements to prove that their personal position and beliefs are far more superior to the others. And as youth leaders, we feel burdened for our young people, for our fellow young people who at that time are at a loss. We feel for our fellow young people who at that time do not know what to believe in. We feel burdened for our fellow young people whose beliefs and positions about the issue were mostly guided and greatly influenced by everything that were posted in the social media. We feel scared for the United Methodist people who belong in the LGBT community, for they are being put in the limelight, being declared as a sinner, unholy, and unworthy of salvation. The discussion on the U.S. Supreme Court ruling also made its way in our third National Youth Conference last August 2015. Naghahanap po kami kung saan kami kakapit at kung ano yung gagawin namin with regards to the issue. In the end, as a response to the appeal to provide a clear directive, intervention, and guidance to the young people with regards to the issue, the National Youth Council approved a resolution reiterating the UMC social principles on human sexuality and marriage. Kasi wala naman po kaming ibang paghuhugutan. Encouraging the young people to be guided and faithfully uphold these UMC social principles. Emphasizing on the statement affirming that all persons are individuals of sacred worth created in the image of God. We all know how the LGBT community suffer from unjust treatment and widespread discrimination even inside our church. We are disappointed to hear stories about our church workers and adults who are not allowing young people to become a member of the choir or the praise and worship team because he or she seems to be gay or lesbian. We are enraged to hear stories about church workers who are not allowing young people to pass the screenings during the UMYFP election just because he or she seems to be gay or lesbian. We are heartbroken to hear stories of church workers and adults who are not giving equal opportunity and just treatment to the young people who seem to be members of the LGBT community. Many of them sought and didn't find any refuge in the United Methodist Church. Our faith community should become their sanctuary and family. They should find peace and be welcomed with loving fellowship and genuine affirmation from us. They do not deserve our condemnation, and the UMYF in the Philippines are standing up against discriminations of the members of the LGBT community. And we are calling and challenging the United Methodist Church here in the Philippines to provide a safe space for our members who belong in the LGBT community and to openly discuss this issue and remind everyone of our commitment as United Methodists to be in ministry for and with all persons regardless the gender and sexual orientation. Let me end this by reading to you the Statement of Unity of the Global United Methodist Young People approved during the GYPCLA 2014 that perfectly resonates our desire and insight with regards to this issue. There has been an increasing talk of schism of the United Methodist Church in recent months. Many say that the issue of homosexuality is so contentious that it will inevitably split our church. We, as the young people of the United Methodist Church, would like to say that we do not desire a divided church. We want our children and grandchildren to grow up in a church that we love right now. The church that we have taken our places in is called to a ministry that includes so much more than this one issue. There are genuine, passionate perspectives on all sides of the issue, and though we disagree, we have committed ourselves to loving, faithful discussion on this subject. Part of the beauty of our church is that there has always been room at the table for a wide range of theological diversity within our connectional church family. And as John Wesley said, may we not be of one heart, though we are not of one opinion. We urge everyone to seek solutions that promote our global unity as the United Methodist Church of Jesus Christ, rather than focus only on the issues that divide us, so that we may faithfully live out our mission of making disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. May we always be reminded of our relevant role of bringing Christ to the lost, the last, and the least. Maraming salamat po. Si Kristo higit sa lahat.